Hey, friends, it's your buddy Matt down here in the Seacrest studio. And boy, do we have a special guest on the line. I got my buddy Maya with a special edition of Maya's latest news to keep you in the groove. Maya, who are we speaking with today?
Richard T. Jones.
Oh, my goodness. Welcome to the show.
They like me. They really like me.
They love you.
Thank you so much for the applause.
Yes, they love you. The crowd goes wild. Richard, thank you so much for being with us today. We really appreciate it. And Maya, I'll turn my camera off and let you do your thing.
Thank you. So first of all, I just wanted to say that it was so nice to see you a couple weeks ago and get to visit the set. And thank you so much for calling in again.
Are you kidding me? I tell you, it was a pleasure meeting you live and in person. And anytime you want to come to the set, just let me know well, actually, you have carte blanche. You don't have to call me. You can call the big boss, and he'll let you on in a heartbeat. So, but it was so much fun seeing you, seeing your family, and seeing everybody at the set and spending some time with you. And I felt privileged that you talked to me for a little bit. So, I know your time was spread through everybody, and you spent a little time with me, and I appreciate it.
Well, it was so much fun to talk with you, and yeah.
Well, I tell you, we really appreciated you coming down, and we love seeing you. So please make it more of a regular thing. Don't make it every 5 years. Don't make it every 5 seasons. Please come down at least once a season.
I would love that. Yeah, I did not want to leave this set. I was like, this is my happy place now. I am staying here.
I try to tell people it's better than Disneyland. They just got to give it a shot.
Yeah.
I tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. So what have you been up to since we last spoke?
Well, I've been very, very blessed to, I've written a screenplay that got produced, and now it is about to air on Nickelodeon. It's called Fantasy Football. It's with Marseille, and I always forget everybody's last name, and Omari Hardwick. And it's a family comedy, kind of a family fantasy, where an aging football player gets linked to his daughter's EA Madden game, and she helps him out in his career. And it's a really good time, and I hope people see it. It's on Nickelodeon. It comes out November 18th, I believe.
Oh, cool. I'm writing this down.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's on Paramount Plus. It's a Paramount Plus movie, but it's by Nickelodeon, but it's a Paramount Plus movie. It'll be on Paramount Plus November 18th, I believe. 17th, 18th is one of those days. And it's called Fantasy Football. Fantasy Football. So that I've been doing that, getting those things kind of in line, and I'm also developing my production company. It's called Prophecy Pictures Entertainment, and we are starting to. We're working on a feature film now. It's called Muwembe, about the first doctor who encountered Ebola, and but it's an interesting story because it's about a man who followed a prophecy that was spoken over him at a very early age in his life, and next thing you know, it took 70 years, but now it's starting to come to fruition, everything that was said to him when he was 5 years old. So so we're really intrigued by that. And so we're in the development of that. It's called Muwembe. And then we have a couple other movies that we're trying to get off the ground. We have a couple things that the world revolves around Rex, and we have a couple things that we got going on. And then in the same time, I am trying to pursue directing. I'm trying to convince the rookie to let me get an episode so I can direct one, and but they're afraid we're going to have too much fun on the set and we won't get it done. So I gotta I gotta let everybody know I can be serious at times. So I'm trying to do a couple episodes of the show and then move on from there. So that is kind of my life in a nutshell. I got married. I don't know that to a wonderful young lady. Her name is Christy, and I have 4 children that are doing well, and that is about all. I think I wrapped it all up. Pretty
Cool.
quick,
Well,
How have you been?
congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's a really hard thing to answer. Just like one. But overall, I've been okay. I've been, watching The Rookie every week, and so that's been.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that, and I know things are going to get better for you. So, so I'm just going to bless you with that, and know that things are going to progress in your life. So it's good to see that your show is still going. I know your viewership is strong, and you have your fan base that Maya. So I had to come on to see just to be. Thank you so much. You were one of my first interviews I did once I got the show. So just so you know, so yeah, it was very a blessing. Yes, yeah, you're one of the first interviews of the whole thing. So I appreciate that a lot.
Oh wow. Okay. Now I feel special.
You are special. Don't feel it, know it. You are special.
Well, thank you. So now that you've played Sergeant Gray for 5 seasons, is there anything new that you've learned about him?
Oh, Sergeant Gray, I tell you, I always knew that he was committed to those under him, that he feels a responsibility for those that he's in charge of. But now as you see him grow, you see his love for all of law enforcement. I think what I'm learning about Sergeant Gray is that his respect for law enforcement is so embedded in him that he feels it almost a responsibility to do things not only the right way, but honestly and truthfully. So it's encouraging to see that, because sometimes I want him to be a little bit rougher. And on the other side, they're like, no, Sergeant Gray is very, the respect he has for law enforcement, the respect he has for the law, really governs every step and every choice he makes in his life. So I've learned that a lot for the last few seasons about Sergeant Gray.
Oh, cool. So are there any challenges to playing a character for that long?
That's a great question. That's a great, insightful question. Because I believe for all actors, when you're on a TV show, a popular TV show, it is kind of hard to remember how to bring fresh things to the character, how to find a way to look at things with a fresh eye, but keep the consistency that you've built for the last 5 seasons. So it's more challenging than people think the longer the show goes on, because you don't want to get complacent, but you don't want to get too far out, because we understand that all people evolve over time, but you want to evolve in the correct manner. So it's hard to do that sometimes, because you can get to a place where you kind of take it for granted and get your character gets monotonous and and you don't really bring more life to it. So the character stales out and becomes dull. And I don't want that, and nobody on our show wants that. So we kind of press on to push the envelope as much as we can.
Oh, cool. So of all the story arcs the Rookie has told, is there one that has been your favorite?
The ones that are about me, Mike. No, I've had a lot of favorites. I love our Rosalind episodes. I think the lady who played Rosalind was so amazing, and what they wrote for her is so, like I said, it's so opposite of all of our characters that is so interesting to watch. And and she was just absolutely amazing in it. And then I have an episode. No, hold on. I don't know what episode's airing already, but I do have an episode coming up where my daughter gets kidnapped, and Sergeant Gray is on the hunt for the kidnappers and to find his daughter in New York. So it's that was a very fun episode, and I got to work with Angel, who plays my wife, and it's about our search for our daughter. I don't know if that episode aired yet. That it hasn't aired yet. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's funny because you shoot them and you think you're so far ahead, but then as they begin to air, they catch up very quickly. So next thing you're like, what episode is showing? And but yeah, so that episode will be coming up. That was a very fun episode. That's this season, and I love the episode where what was the episode? Oh, no, that was a Rosalind episode. I already told you, I liked all the Rosalind episodes. I love all the episodes. There's some episodes coming up with Tim and Lucy, and which will be a crowd favorite. But I love every episode just because I love the people that are playing each and every character. We have a fabulous crew. We have a fabulous cast, and our head guy, Alexi Hawley, the writer and creator of the show, is just a lovely man to work for and with. So this is absolutely the best group of people I've been around while I've had 30 years in this industry. It's hard to be with a bunch of people for so long. They'll become family. Family gets annoying after a while. They're all up under you all the time. And when you find a group like this that really care for each other and want the best for each other, it's very rare in Hollywood. So I'm very fortunate. I'm very blessed, a very blessed man, just not just outside of the show, but on the show in particular.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah. So is there a line that Sergeant Gray has said that you think completely defines him?
Yeah, what's funny is the line in the pilot kind of defines him. He's just like, look, this job is a calling. You don't do it. And when I'm talking to Nolan about, why he is doing this for a living, and I say, look, this is a calling. This is bigger than just, trying to reinvent your life. Because at that time, I was really suspect of his intentions of becoming a cop and his dedication and what he was going to do. But when I say, this is a calling, it really defined who I was, even though I was speaking to him about him. I was speaking of myself at the same time, understanding that Sergeant Gray is not something that was chosen, that he chose. It was something that he was chosen for and he embraced. That's why I said he has such a high regard and respect and honor for law enforcement and the process of, to serve and protect is a big part of not only what he does, but it's actually embedded in his heart. For a life for a life's purpose. So he understands that this is a purpose that he was created to do. And there was a part in season 2 where he was thinking of retiring, and kind of, being with his wife and living their life. And he just couldn't do it. It was something, we had an incident that was happening, but underneath all that, there was a tie to being a police officer that he just can't let go of. And not only a police officer, but a sergeant. There's something special about being a sergeant, because he could have been a detective by now. He probably could have been the chief of police by now. That's how long he's been doing this, and how well he's been doing this. But being able to, in his eyes, keep the street safe is something that's really just something that really pulls him to get up every day and do what he loves to do.
Oh, cool. Yeah. When Sergeant Gray was thinking of retiring, I remember I was yelling at the TV. I was like, he can't retire. He can't. So I was mad at your character for a little bit, because I was like, he can't retire. That just can't happen.
Maya, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you a secret. I was mad at Alexi for writing it. I said, "What you writing this stuff for, man? Don't you be like, oh, make me retire." I don't want to hear this. I was mad that he even thought about writing it. So I was like, man, please. So I get it. And I was the same exact way. Before you saw it, I was like that when I read it.
So what subject could you give a TED Talk on, even though you are totally unqualified on the subject?
Totally unqualified, because it's funny, because my biggest subject outside of the movie business and acting, which I don't think anyone's qualified to be a good actor or an actor. I just think you pursue it and you do it, and the way you pursue it is the outcome you're going to get. I truly believe in, it's not just talent. It's hard work. So it's whoever puts the work in will be the talented one at the end of it all. So talent will get you seen, but hard work will make you last. But a TED Talk, I tell you, it would be about, this is going to be a religious thing, because I tell you, it's about walking with God. I would love to do a TED Talk about being a Christian in Jesus, because I tell you, no one is qualified to give a TED Talk on it. All you can do is to say, hey, keep going. But I would love to do a TED Talk about it, because I think it would shatter everybody's expectations about doing it and everybody's reservations about it, because I tell you, it is a day-to-day kind of journey, and every day is new, and every day you're like a child again, just trying to learn. And that's where we're supposed to stay. You're supposed to stay like a little child and let God kind of lead the way. And we just go around saying, "Papa, Papa, Papa." And that's the hardest thing to do for an adult, is to revert into a child. But that is the key.
Yeah. So is there a movie or show that you always wish you had been in?
Ooh, you getting deep on me. Okay. Wow. There's a lot. There's a lot of movies. It's funny, because I was just talking to my son about a movie yesterday actually, that I wish I would have did in my youth. It was called A Few Good Men, with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson and all that. And I was just like, I was telling him how upset I was that I didn't get an audition for that movie. I said, oh man, that would have been a movie I would have loved to do and be a part of. But there's a lot of movies I would have loved to be a part of. A lot of the good television. Um, it's hard to pick just one, because I would love to be a part of it from all different reasons. One of the shows I wish I was a part of now, alongside the Rookie. Always remember alongside the Rookie would be is it called Ted? Is it called just Ted? Oh my goodness, what is it? Because it's on Apple TV, so that's why.
Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso. Okay, I was like, is it just called Ted? And I was like, no, it's just called Ted Lasso. I was like, no, that's not right. Ted Lasso. I absolutely love the show. I tell you, I think I'm a big sports guy. Even though I don't watch soccer in particular, just the fact I appreciate good coaches, and I tell you, watching him play that character is so refreshing because he has such a positive attitude. That character has such a positive attitude and such a positive way of coaching that I love shows that encourage us to think positive and be positive, and seeing how that transforms and shapes the whole team because of his positivity. Because they all couldn't stand him, but then his positivity just wore on them till they became different people. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I love that show.
Yeah.
So is there a particular role that you ever wish you could have played?
Oh wow. Getting deep on me, man. Wow. I mean, there's so many roles that, I don't know. There's so many roles that I like, roles that I had auditioned for, or just roles that I watched the movie. I was like, oh man, I wish I had a chance at that role. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. Either one. I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
I was in the running between me and Cooper Gooden Jr. for Jerry Maguire, and of course he won. Plus, he won an Academy Award for it. So it was like, which he deserved fully. But I do wish I could have played that role. I mean, I really was excited about it, and to be that close, where and to get and for Cooper to get it and not me. And let me be the first. We had very different takes on the role, and his was better. Look, I can admit it. His was better. And I don't admit much, but I tell you, his was better. But I do wish I could have played that role because I think it was such a fun role. And it's funny because it's another Tom Cruise movie, but it's not about Tom as much as it's about the role. He just knows how to pick good movies.
So if you had the opportunity to put a message on a billboard that would be seen by everybody, what would that message be?
Ooh, getting deep. I think the message would be a simple message. Love God and love others. Be a simple message, love God and love others. And with that message, I think we can just, a lot of things would change if we just had those simple things and have that in mind. And I think a lot of times we love others and we don't love God. Some people love God and don't love others. So it's like, we need to do both. So I wish that would be my message with a big picture of me saying.
I love that. um, so, what is the most interesting thing that you have read about yourself that isn't true?
Oh, that isn't true? My goodness. Let's see. What's the most interesting thing I've read about myself? I usually don't read things about myself. So that's a good way not to get big headed or to get devastated. Let me think. What was the last thing I read about myself? So many things aren't true that you sit there and say it's hard to pick just one. I think something was written about how I didn't like people on set one day. I forgot what show or what movie it was. Something written that I was having a hard time with people on set and that kind of stuff, and which was not true. And it's just like I don't, or I was being. It's just like you've seen me on set. I don't. I like to have fun, so it's kind of like. I remember having something like that written about me a long time ago. But like I said, I don't read a lot written about me. I used to when I was young. I used to look at all the reviews and stuff like that. Ooh, what they say about me? What they say about me? But I tell you, that's a blessing and a curse waiting to happen. I tell you, you'd be like, oh, you could be on cloud nine one day, and then you eating 2 tubs of ice cream the next day, crying. So.
Yeah.
I stay away from it now, Maya. I stay away from it now.
Well, that seems smart. Based on what you're saying, that seems that seems like a good idea.
Just be careful. Just be careful.
Yeah.
It's funny because we're in a society, and that's why I believe reality TV does so well, is because we love to build people up so we can tear them down at the same time. So you're going to always get what we call the people that love you, and then you're going to have your haters. Okay. Yeah. But I tell you, without those haters, man, you can't be who you're going to be. We need haters in our life. So it's actually a good thing. So hate on, everybody. Hate on.
So, what do you consider to be the best moment of your career so far?
Oh man, the best moment of my career, I tell you. Ooh, you're getting deep today. I tell you, I thought we was gonna be talking about the weather.
I mean, we could if you wanted.
No. These are better. I'm just saying. I was just thrown. That's all. I'm just thrown. The best moment in my career, right? I would say, there's so many moments in my career. From the beginning. What started my career was a miracle in itself. Just being able to. I started in this movie called What's Love Got to Do with It, and I got this role, Ike Jr., which was a very. I had a couple scenes with. I had a scene with Lawrence Fishburne, and I had a scene with. Oh my goodness! I'm getting old. My memory is like, ding, where'd it go? But the reason I got Fish's name right on board because I was just watching him last night, actually. Yes, but I also have. Oh my goodness, who played? Anyway, that being said, I auditioned for a totally different role, Maya. So I auditioned for a role of another son, and And her name is Angela Bassett, by the way. It came out like, oh my goodness. So, and that was my main scene was with Angela, and she's the sweetest woman ever, and I love her to death. And I apologize for losing, but I auditioned for a different child who had no lines, who was just there in one scene, and when I got to the set, the director, I just happened to be the tallest of all the kids. And he said, well, that doesn't look right because he's the tallest. So he called me in privately and he said, here, read these lines. And I read them. He said, oh, you're fantastic. Boom. And he switched roles there on the set. And I went from someone who had no lines to two big scenes in the movie.
Oh, wow.
And it sparked my career from, and the amazing part about it wasn't even that. The amazing part about it was my car had broken down the day of work. So when I got to work, I was talking to people while we were waiting to rehearse and stuff like that when I was still the other role. And I asked one of the kids if they can give me a ride home. And one of them said, yeah, of course, man, no problem. I can have you be, I'll take you home, blah, blah. I said, great. It happened to be the one who was supposed to play Ike Jr. And I was like, oh my goodness. Now I'm thinking like, I'm not going to get home. I'm like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? I was like, what?
Yeah.
They just, switched our roles, and now he goes from having scenes to not having a scene, which they did switch something up. So they added the scene for him, thank God. But what was the most lovely thing about it was that this young man was studying to be a pastor at the time. And after he had prayed, because he was very upset at the time, but then he prayed about it. And he just said, hey, I prayed about it. And what's yours is yours. I can't take anything that. And God has set this up for a mighty opportunity for you. So all I can tell you is take full advantage of it, because doors are going to open because of this particular thing. So just keep your eyes open for them. And I said, okay. And at this time, I'm not walking with God, walking with Jesus at all. So I'm just like, okay, whatever, man, as long as you get me home. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, ah. And I tell you, from that particular moment in my career, everything started opening up for me. I did my next movie was this Penny Marshall movie called Renaissance Man, and she happened to love What's Love Got to Do with It. That's the only reason I got the meeting. And she was like, put them around. You're terrific. I don't need to hear you read. I just want to talk about the movie. My whole interview process was talking about the movie I just made called What's Love Got to Do with It, because she loved it. I ended up getting that role, which was a very big movie to get at the time. All the young actors wanted that movie, and I was a part of that. And I worked with Danny DeVito, and he was wonderful. And Penny, of course, was just, it was the beginning of my career, the beginning of the whole ride of this whole thing. And so, that was probably the best moment of my career, was the beginning. And as it progresses, it's just getting better and better and better and better. And, like I say at the beginning, like I say now, like I will always say, it's just like, I understand that I'm a blessed man. And because of it, I just have to give all the praise and honor to God in every way I can. So, because I understand that without him, I would be nothing. So, so I just love it.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So what life experience do you feel has had the biggest impact on who you are?
Oh, wow. Goodness. Woo, girl, you going, I tell you, but I thought it was going to be shadow boxing. You sitting there like, no, we getting in the ring today. I'm going to throw some haymakers. Like, whoa, okay. Life experience, something. I think there's an experience in my life that really changed my life tremendously, and that's a conversation I had with my father. My father and my mother got divorced when I was about 4 or 5, and he was a part of my life, but not really a big part of my life for a long time of my life. And then there was a part, about at the time of me going to college, I always talked to my father, but, we just didn't have a good relationship, put it that way. And I didn't understand him. And frankly, I didn't want to understand him at the time. I kind of feared him in a little bit. Not because he was a violent man, just because there was an anger behind his eyes. So, but one day when I was 18 years old, I remember this very vividly. He picked me up from college because I went to college not too far from him, but still never went to see him. But this particular time, he picked me up, and we had a nice long talk just about his life and his relationship with my mom, and how he viewed his relationship with us. And I tell you, after hearing his story, it changed everything I saw in my father. And it made us so close and made me honor and respect him very differently. And it changed everything about my life in the simple fact that it's not that I pursued different things in my life. It was just that because I saw him differently, I thought of myself differently. And everything I pursued after that, I pursued it differently with the understanding of who I came from. So it was, it's an interesting thing, but I tell you, it was probably the most impactful thing in my life, a conversation with my dad. And he told me his testimony. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, it was so simple, but it changed the trajectory of my life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I just have two more questions for you.
Okay.
So what I figured after so many harder questions, I would go, what are, just a fun question. What show are you currently binge watching?
Currently binge watching? What show am I currently binge watching? Nothing. I'm not binge watching. I'm trying to find the show right now to binge watch. And I don't know because I'm waiting for Ted Lasso to come back. I'm tell you that right now. All right. So that's the show that we love binge watching. Yeah. But I tell you, I'm trying to find the show right now. So we're dipping into different shows because there's so many shows out there. It's just like hard to find one show to get into enough because binge watching takes a commitment.
Yeah.
You have to sit there and you got to sit there and say, okay, I'm gonna watch this show. And I have to, because you have to give a show at least 4 episodes before you know whether or not it's going to be good or not. And it's a hard commitment because you sit there and you start looking at the time that you have. And like I said, my production company is, taking up a lot of my time. So I sit there. So right now I'm just watching a bunch of old movies that I've seen before and, but I haven't seen in a long time. I'm watching a lot of movies that I grew up to, like Can't Buy Me Love. And we watched Weird Science last night and that type of stuff. So it's like a lot of John Hughes movies. So I've been watching a lot of old movies like that. Instead of binging the show right now, but we are actually looking for a show to binge because I didn't do the new Game of Thrones, although I love Game of Thrones. Just because you got to be in a certain, but I probably will once it gets done. I think it's done now, so I might watch it. I just didn't want. It's hard to watch week by week by week by week. Even Ted Lasso, I don't do that. I let it build up. But Ted is hard. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's hard. So, but I try to let it build up so I can binge it. But there's nothing like on Netflix right now that I'm binging or anything like that, or Stranger Things, or what I'm saying. That's all kind of been there, done that, and I did the Ozarks, and that's kind of done. And so so it's hard to you got to sit there and kind of evaluate what show am I going to give my time to, because my time is precious. Your time is precious, Maya. So you sit there like, what show? Because you just can't. It's like a boy. You can't just give yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can't just give your time to every boy. You got to be special.
Yeah.
So that's the way I see it.
Well, I have a lot of show recommendations if you ever need one. So
you do. Give me. What's your favorite? Give me the best comedy one. So anything that's funny. And then the best, I love Ted Lasso, so you got to put it in that. And then the best, like, overall drama kind of one.
Okay. Well, okay, for comedies, there are two that are on right now that they've already had a few seasons, so so you can binge watch the past seasons. There's The Neighborhood and Home Economics.
Home Economics. Okay, good. I like Topher, so that's actually something I thought about. Was Home Economics? Okay.
Yeah, it's so funny. Every episode is just laugh out loud funny. So
okay, good. Okay, that's good. Thank you. All right, I will check out those. I will definitely check out those.
Oh, cool. Yeah. And then for dramas, there are three that immediately come to mind, and one is The Rookie, so I won't say that. And then there's A Million Little Things and New Amsterdam.
Oh, you like New Amsterdam?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. My boy Malcolm was on that. So yes. All right. Yes. Okay. All right. Actually, I watch New Amsterdam because my wife loves it, so she loves that show. So I watch every once in a while. But I haven't seen the past season. She's like, she don't wait for me. So she's not gonna redo it.
Yeah.
So I just kind of watch bits and pieces. But it's a well done show.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's New Amsterdam. New Amsterdam. There's so many medical. No, he's on The Resident. So my friend's on The Resident, but she watches New Amsterdam too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just actually right before this interview, I was watching the new episode from last night, and I was crying for pretty much an hour straight. So
oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, it was it's a show that, it's every episode is emotional. And this one was just, I thought, was really powerful. And one of my favorite episodes, because it's talking about this episode dealt with something that is very, I'm losing all my words, but something that is very much a timely issue, or I don't know if that's the right word, but something that is happening now, and that is so it was one of my favorites and very emotional, and so yeah.
All right. I'm gonna check it out now. Now you're gonna be all kind of choked up. All right, I gotta see it. All right.
Yeah.
I gotta see it.
Yeah. So my last question for you is, who do you consider to be your greatest role model?
Ooh, wow, my goodness. Oh man. I have a role model in, my my pastor and spiritual father, and that's his name. He's an African man. His name is Lobi Langomba. And he's actually, what's funny is he's younger than me, but he is someone that I try to model my life after, because he's such a sweet man. And I love the way he treats people and the way he loves people and the way he loves God, even more so. When I look at the bigger issue of things, I love how Denzel Washington has matured in his life, and when I say matured, it's just like the way you see him carrying on his business. How he went from an actor, now he's directing, and he's, you know what I'm saying, he's trying to establish young actors. He's giving back to young people as much as he can. He's really taking his platform that he was given, and he is actually maximizing it in a lot of different ways. And I love seeing that, and that's something to model my life after as I mature in this business. So I love that. And I would say those two, a personal and a professional one. That was my personal one is, like I said, my spiritual father, Lobi Langomba, and then Denzel Washington would be my professional one.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I love that. Well, thank you so much for calling back in. I would just love to keep talking to you. Like, I could just talk to you for hours. So thank you.
Oh, look at that. I would love to talk to you. So thank you for having me again. I tell you, this is it's always an honor and a blessing to speak with you on your show. And it's even a bigger one when you come to the set, I tell you. So don't be a stranger both ways. Invite me back. And then I'm already inviting you to the show, to the set. Invite me back when you can. I appreciate it.
Okay, I will. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for spending so much time with us, and we really enjoyed hearing from you.
Well, I appreciate you guys so much. I thank you so much once again for having me, and just be blessed out there. All right, I see you guys are doing it. Who's the new one on the shift right here? Who are you?
My name is Cody.
Cody.
Yeah, so
you were here last time. Were you not the first time I did? I think you were around.
I was going to say, when I walked in, I said, I know this guy. Maya talked to him before. And then I was like, wait, the rookie. That's it. I know. Maya keeps us updated, so we know. Yeah. We don't know because we're not cool, but we know because she tells us what to know.
Because she tells you what to know. Now, look. That's called being smart. That's called wisdom. Always surround yourself with people who are in the know.
That's what we do.
A lot of stuff. I try to find the people that do know
it. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us, and just for your general hospitality. We are very grateful.
Well, I am thankful that you thought a little of me. And thank you, Cody, for coming out, helping out. And Maya, it's always a privilege and an honor. And you guys have a great rest of the evening. It's evening over your time. Is it evening on
It's
your
heading
time?
That way, at least. It's 4:30.
It's heading that way, huh?
Yep,
it's
heading that way.
Yeah. Look at that. All right, well, bless you guys.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.